This is Paul McGann, and you're listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast.
The tangents this week continue all the way to episode 114 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. I'm aware that I'm surrounded by people who feel they could do the job better. Strong people with powerful characters. But for better or worse, the crown has landed on my head. Welcome everyone to this week's episode of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. So glad you could join us. Let's start off like we do every week. We'll go on the virtual table and see who's joined us this week.
This is Brittany in Belvedere. This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City. This is Mitch in Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello everyone.
Hello.
We are here. Yay.
We're here. We're slightly-ish, but
yes.
That's okay.
Yep.
Holly sends her best.
Yep.
And we will do our thing.
Yep. So,
it's good to have everyone here.
yes. But been a light news week as far as fandom is concerned. So, but we've got just a couple of pieces of news. I guess the less exciting of the two, the more disappointing of the two is they have announced that the Doctor Who experience in Cardiff is going to close next summer. And I'm very sad that it's going to close before I get out there.
I know. It's like, I thought it was just going to stay open, and someday when I got that all expenses paid trip to the British Isles and I could go to Wales and see the Doctor Who experience, I mean, along with everything else that's in Britain.
All the other filming locations. All the touristy stuff.
But it's closing. Yeah. Their lease is up, and the city, I guess, is not going to renew it, so...
Yeah. It was agreed upon when it originally opened. It was a sublease. They agreed on 5 years. So it's not a surprise, I guess, to the real estate folks. But it is to the rest of us. And at the moment, BBC doesn't know if it will open somewhere else. I hope they find a new spot. That would be nice.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, they've got all that stuff in there, and, you know, I mean, beyond it being a tourist attraction and a museum, basically, it's like it's a good place to keep all those the memorabilia, the artifacts, I suppose. I don't know what else to call them, but just, you know, the costumes, the TARDIS sets, the Daleks, the monster thingies. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just like, oh.
Yeah.
So I hope wherever they end up putting it, I hope it'll be taken care of.
Well, and it's kind of in a nice location too, because I'm not sure how close it is, but it's close enough that people can go to Torchwood. You can't see me, but I'm doing air quotes. Torchwood.
Yeah.
So you can visit essentially, you know, the entrance for Torchwood, if it was still there.
Yeah, and it's called like the Millennium Center or something, I believe it is.
Yeah, so you can knock out your Doctor Who and Torchwood at the same time if you're already in Cardiff. So, but hopefully they'll find another spot, because I would like to see, you know, like the set and the costumes, and, you know, they updated it when Peter Capaldi took over as a Doctor, so they put some stuff from his series and his TARDIS and all that. Peter Capaldi showed up a couple of times and, like, served people at the food court.
It was kind of like Disneyland for Doctor Who fans.
A little bit. Well, more like the Walt Disney Family Museum.
Okay, well, true.
Which I've been to the Disney Family Museum in San Francisco, and based on the pictures and video I've seen from the Doctor Who experience, it's very similar. So, but but if you were thinking of going, this is it. So go.
Go, and
still haven't been able to confirm if you can get in with a John Barrowman CD or if you have to pay actual money. So you may want to take both.
It probably depends on who's working the admission desk that day.
Oh, yeah. Actually, they made this announcement, and then I was at small side store here. I was at Who North America yesterday, which I posted a couple pictures on our Instagram because our friend Elena from And Sewing is Half the Battle was doing a couple of cosplay workshops. And so we did the cosplay workshops, which those were lots of fun. Elena's, very knowledgeable on a lot of things. So we were able to peg her with a lot of questions, and she answered them for us. And we got to do nice little arts and crafts, which was awesome. But after everyone else had left, and I helped her take all of her stuff back out to her vehicle, she had asked if anyone wanted anything from the Doctor Who experience because she's going to go. Because they made the announcement, and apparently she bought herself a plane ticket, and she is leaving right after Christmas to go straight to Cardiff.
Wow.
So she wants to go while
Send us a postcard.
Yeah, she wants to go while there is still some Torchwood stuff on display, because she's actually more of she's a bigger Torchwood fan than Doctor Who.
Okay.
So she wanted to go while there's a memorial for Ianto on, so she wants to go while that stuff is still there, just in case they decide to change it out for the last, so many months. So, but
that's understandable, totally.
Yeah, so I'm like, I'm a little jealous. I wish I could just take off to Cardiff.
Yeah,
only
no
if
kidding.
you're. I think only if you're a Doctor Who fan can you say, I want to go to Cardiff. From what I understand, Cardiff is kind of like the New Jersey of the UK. No offense,
Hey.
No offense, Brittany. No one goes to New Jersey or
Brittany's
Cardiff.
like, I resemble that remark.
Apparently, nobody goes to New Jersey or Cardiff unless it's for a very specific reason. So I've been told.
I don't know the first one of that.
And, unless you got family in Wales, I guess. Or you
we
really
love
like
you, Brittany, and we love Jersey.
Yes.
Even though I've never been there. I've been there.
And we love the Welsh. So, we love you, Cardiff. And all the people of Wales. No offense. Just what I've heard. I'm sure y'all are wonderful. I've been to Jersey once. It wasn't bad. I only stayed the night there in the hotel, but from the time I was there, it wasn't bad. So, anyway. Now that I've offended both New Jersey and Wales, let's move on.
Okay, I will. Okay, so I'm gonna like squeeze your eardrums out. So just be careful, okay? So on Saturday, I believe it was. Yeah, it had to have been Saturday. They were having Viz Media, who does the dub, English dub translation release of Sailor Moon. They were having a midnight party to release, or to celebrate the release of Sailor Moon S Part 1 on Blu-ray and DVD, and that's the third season for those who do not know. But they also announced, and this was like the huge big surprise, and the one I was just like, what? This is awesome. Is that they are going to, in addition, they have the rights to dub the Sailor Moon movies. There's 3 of them. But they are also going to release Sailor Moon R into theaters in January 2017, the R movie, which is the one that goes with the second season. Now, I had to explain this to Jared because he was like, well, do the movies have anything to do with the series, the seasons? And it's like, well, yes and no. They're more standalone. They just have like the main characters, but they have their own villains and their own sort of storyline. So it's self-contained. So if you know pretty much nothing about Sailor Moon, especially the R movie, actually has a little bit at the beginning where it explains, here are all the characters and here's what they do and who we are and the Sailor team, and now we can go into the story and explain what's going on. And so it's pretty, even if you know nothing about it, you could go to the movie theater if you're interested and go see it. So it's gonna be like an HD and the whole everything, and they have a little teaser trailer, which I was a little miffed that it's just clips from the movie and not any acting that. Oh my gosh, I'm just so flippin' excited because I'm like, This one's my favorite of the three movies. There's one that goes with the R season, the S season, and the Supers season. The Supers one is pretty good. S can I can go both ways on it, but R is my favorite. And I'm like, I get to see it on the big screen. And it's just so exciting. I'm probably the only one like really hopping up and down going, yes, 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 but I'm excited. So that was news. Because I was wondering why they were taking so long to do the next. They haven't even put any of the dub stuff for season 3 on Hulu yet, or none that I've been able to find, and they haven't dubbed. And they've only got Crystal, the first season, out so on DVD and Blu-ray. So I'm just like, what is going on? Why is it taking so long? So I'm thinking that maybe it's taking so long because they've been working on the movie.
Maybe.
And putting it in theaters. So I'm like, okay, well, you're forgiven.
That's a good reason.
So I am...
all is forgiven.
Yeah. All is forgiven. Give me. And Jared really wants us to do a Sailor Moon cosplay together for Comic-Con. And I'm like, I don't think I can pull off that short skirt, but whatever.
You could modify it.
Yeah. I'd do something.
Yeah.
But,
or find a variant, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Piece of fan art or something, or a comic book.
Yes.
Comic book variant. So.
Yeah.
First rule of cosplay, people. If you don't think you can pull it off, odds are you can find a variant or a piece of concept art that you'll feel more comfortable wearing. So. Yeah, I wouldn't I don't think either. So
I'm like, some people do it and they do it well and God bless them, they're great. I'm just like, holy crap, that's anyway. But yeah, I'm excited, and I might buy a T-shirt just to be like, I have a thing. So anyway, I'm excited and I'm flipping out. And Viz is doing a great job with this, and you might see going around. Apparently, there's an ad for Ford, the Ford Motor Company has an ad where they overdubbed Usagi and Luna talking about cars, and for a commercial for Ford, and I'm just like, what in the world is going on? Oh my gosh, this is so intense. Anyway, it's like. Sailor Moon is being used in Advertisement America. It's like, what in the world? This would never, ever, ever have happened, like, even 10 years ago. 5 years ago.
Yeah, well, yeah, you're probably right. So, but hey, if Subaru could have dogs driving cars, why not?
Exactly. Anyway, I'm done squeeing for now. I'll squee later, but oh gosh, this is just. It was a big surprise. It's like you guys are talking about the release of one thing, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, this also is happening."
Yeah.
Like,
just in
what?
Case. Like, yay! Christmas came early, kind of. Except you have to wait till after Christmas to see it. But yeah.
Hey, that's okay.
Yep. Alrighty then. Well, that's it actually for fandom news. It's been fairly quiet, so we're getting into the holidays though. So
Star Wars stuff will start popping up. Trailers.
It's mostly at this point. It's Fantastic Beasts and Star Wars at this point. So
yep,
everyone's gearing up for Black Friday in like less than 2 weeks. So time to start toy shopping. So anyway, let's move on to, I guess, a topic for this week, which kind of fell into our laps. This was I hadn't necessarily meant to start watching this because I'm so close to getting completely caught up with the Arrowverse. But when I realized it was in my Netflix feed, I'm like, okay, I kind of need a break from Oliver Queen and all that badness. Ooh, The Crown. Let's do that. Because it had been fairly advertised, kind of heavily, especially on like YouTube. I'd seen like the trailer for it and all that. But I was like, yeah, let me watch this. It's only 10 episodes. They're hour-long episodes, but there's only 10. So for anyone that doesn't know, there's a series out now on Netflix called The Crown. And essentially it chronicles the life of the current Queen of England, Her Royal Highness Queen Elizabeth II. And it starts from her marriage to Prince Philip, and will work its way forward. The producers already have it planned out. They want 60 episodes, so 6 seasons. And each season will chronicle approximately a decade of the Queen's rule. So they've already got it. They've already got planned out. Supposedly, they've already started on the second season, even though the first season just dropped. How fast they'll churn these out, I guess, will just depend on the time and all of that, and budget as well. This is actually one of the most expensive TV series ever made. It is definitely one of the most expensive to ever be on Netflix. It's the second most expensive on as far as Netflix exclusive shows is concerned, and a lot of that is the costuming, because they tried to be as accurate as possible. And the Queen, they did the Queen's coronation gown and her wedding gown and all the outfits. The Prince Philip wears a lot of tuxedos and like military uniforms. So they built a life-size replica of Buckingham Palace, at least part of it.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a set for 10 Downing Street. So there's a lot of money being put into it, and I'll say, as far as TV shows go, if you're someone who doesn't like stuff, if you're really into like action and adventure and not really into like history, this probably isn't for you, because actually it's quite dull. There's not a lot of action. There's no car chases. Well, there's one kind of car chase when the paparazzi go chasing after the Princess Margaret. Philip decides he wants to learn to get his pilot's license, because when he married Elizabeth, he was granted like a high rank in the Air Force, but doesn't actually know how to fly. So he goes. Well. He goes. So there's there's a lot of traveling via plane. But I was telling Chauncey last night, because he is really into not just the British royal family, but just the English history. World War II, and Churchill. And I told him, I said, it's quite droll. It's a lot of people just standing around talking to each other. And I said, it's kind of, there's a comic. He's English himself, but as a comic, a stand-up comic. His name's Eddie Izzard, and in one of his specials, he talks about how British like movies and TV is a lot of a room with a view of the staircase and a pond, and a lot of people walking into rooms going, "Oh, I didn't know anyone was in here. Yes, I am just moving books slightly to the left. Would you like some tea?" It's a lot of that.
Now, if you like period drama, I've only seen the first 2 episodes. Yeah. But if you enjoy period drama, like the Jane Austen, Poldark, Downton Abbey, that kind of thing,
yeah,
you'll enjoy this. I mean, we don't want to sell it too short.
But
so far, I found it.
It's not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Law and Order or something like that. So I guess we're going to find out.
And I didn't know that they were planning to do 6 seasons of it, so I'm like, oh, okay, well that makes sense that they would spend so much money on, because I think like a Netflix show. Now, okay, I got to say this carefully, because the Netflix shows, they've done a really good job, like with Daredevil and Fuller House and some of the other things I've seen, and they've been really well done. And up until recently, you think, oh, internet stuff, well, that's not quote, I'm using air quotes, real TV. Like, it's not on broadcast or on satellite or cable or network. And so it's like not everybody watches it, but actually a lot of people, more and more people are watching Netflix stuff. So it would make sense that they are, they want to get their money's worth. They're put into making it look good. And, if they have this planned out, so far it's been really interesting, and I'm happy that they have more coming.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's well cast. It's a bit jarring to see Matt Smith in such a serious role.
You know what? Sometimes when I'm watching it, I have to remind myself, oh yeah, that's Matt Smith, because Matt Smith, he has a very distinctive look to him. He has, he has the face, he has the chin and everything, but he just almost disappears into this role, and I'm really impressed, because honestly, I haven't seen him in anything else other than Doctor Who, and then I've seen him at conventions type of thing. So I just always kind of figured, oh, he's Matt Smith. He's kind of a goofball, and he can be serious at times. But like in this, he's just I've never. I mean, I know he's been in other things. I just haven't seen him. I haven't seen him this serious, and I'm just really impressed with his acting ability.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had that happen before. I mean, people have said like he's really good at what he does. I've just never gotten to see it for myself, and I'm just like, wow, I see what they were talking about, and it's great.
Yeah,
I'm glad that he's still doing well.
Yes, very. But it is, if you've only seen Matt in Doctor Who, it's like this is not Amy's Raggedy Man at all.
No, it's not. And
there are some moments of levity, but there's a lot of tension. That's the thing, is like, a lot of the major plot points, Elizabeth and Philip getting married, the death of Elizabeth's father, which causes her to be, to become queen, her coronation, elected to being prime minister again, that sort of thing. That's all history. So that's all in the history books. You can go online or grab an encyclopedia if they still make those, and find that stuff. So, I mean, they make sure to hit on those major things, but the whole point is also there's drama, and while this is historically accurate, as I'm doing very big air quotes, I'm curious to find out, and I don't know if maybe they'll release like some more behind the scenes stuff, because right now there's only like short little behind the scenes things on YouTube about the costuming and that sort of thing. But I would be curious to see where the writers are getting their information as far as the scripted bits, the stuff that's behind closed doors, the conversations between the queen and her sister, and the queen and her husband, and the queen and the prime minister, and that sort of thing. I would imagine, because I don't know, based on what I've read, where they're getting their information from, if some of it is being played up for just the drama entertainment of it. I imagine some of it is probably secondhand information they're getting from people that either worked in Parliament with Churchill, people that worked at the palace, that were part of the Queen's staff and that sort of thing, friends and distant family members. So, getting information secondhand from someone, maybe not the most accurate, but they're probably going with it.
Yeah.
It's like,
there's like, biographies and historical records that they can go off of, I'm sure.
Yeah. But I'm sure there's still some filling in the gaps, though. Because it's like, there's the Queen at one point, she and Philip get into an argument about him going off to Australia for the Olympics by himself, and it supposedly created some tension. It's like, did that actually happen, or are they just putting that tension there sheerly for the entertainment value. The thing is, the royal family, even though they are a public figure, you know, the all you have to do is, you know, see, you know, whenever, you know, these days with the younger the younger royals, anytime that, you know, that Kate and William go out and, you know, do a charity event or something or make an appearance somewhere, you know, they're very, you know, they always have smiles on their faces. They're always, you know, when they talk to people, they're very good about, you know, listening and, you know, keeping themselves composed. But you don't know what happens behind closed doors, and the family really is always been very, very private about their personal affairs. They do not say things about what's going on behind closed doors unless they absolutely have to. You know, when Kate was hospitalized both times with both of their pregnancies, you know, they did not say anything until they absolutely had to. You know, the births, they don't tend to release the information. You know, the babies' names do not get released till they darn well feel like it. Just, you know, just recently, which I think is somewhat unprecedented, but I think it helps to this point, is there's been a lot of speculation that Prince Harry is dating this actress. But of course, you know, they're not going to say anything because that's Harry's private business. You know, who he dates is his
put out
thing.
that was the big news that he put out that statement. They're like, hey, leave her alone.
Yeah, but in the same, by doing that, it confirmed that they were dating. They were forced to confirm that they are dating because she was being harassed. So they're very private people unless they are out for a public appearance, which, you know, any form of celebrity, I think they're more than welcome to that. But the British royal family, there's a lot of curiosity surrounding them, which, you know, I guess part of it is the celebrity, part of it is because they're royalty. You know, you've got actors and actresses by, you know, the dozen everywhere, you know, here in the US and the UK and Europe, and, you know, you've got all these celebrities and sports athletes that are celebrities, but you don't get a lot of royalty. No, royalty is not quite as common. So, you know, in a day and age when you've got, you know, the Kardashians doing whatever it is the Kardashians do, it's like, but then, ooh, the Queen, you know, there's something very, like, I don't know what the word is, but there's something
there's history there's history associated with it. It's like, yeah, you know, the Kardashians are just sort of why do we pay attention to them? Because they have a reality show, they're rich, whatever, I don't care. But like you know, the Queen of England, the royalty associated with England, it's just so, I mean, there's all that history to it and so much, you know, going behind it. And, you know, in the United States we don't have kings and queens, and that's, you know, so, you know, we're kind of intrigued by this and this whole thing. And, you know, we're not going to go into the whole government political stuff with it. It's just kind of, it's interesting. It's kind of cool to really think about. And I don't know. They're intriguing people. And I think they kind of realize that. And that's why, you know, when they, you know, make, you know, the royal wedding and the royal baby, and that when Princess Charlotte was born, and we were all saying, like, and I can't remember what, there was something going on that week when we were podcasting, and there's like something bad in the news going on, and we're all like, hey, you know what, everything that's been going on, I will take the birth of a baby princess.
It's like,
and it's, you know, something positive.
Yeah, it's like, you know, awful things that happen, but how often is a true bona fide princess born? So, yeah. You can blame some of that probably on Disney.
Yeah, probably. Well, and it's like, because I remember, when Princess Diana passed away, and my mom was all like, "Oh, this is so sad," and she stayed up late to watch the funeral because time zones and stuff, and all of that, and it was just like I kind of understood it, but I kind of didn't. I was like, "Mom, what are you doing?" It's like, "What is?" She's like, "I know, but I watched their wedding and I watched all of this and all these different things." It's like, okay, well, that's fine, I guess. And now I'm like, and now I'll see there'll be articles like, "Oh, what was Kate and William doing this weekend?" Like they visited. What was one that they did fairly recently? They visited like a hotline center calls, and William was like, "Hey, I don't know how you people do this because he listened to one and he was in tears because he didn't do a call, he just listened in on it, and he was really touched and by the work they did." So it's like it's kind of cool when someone takes an interest in it like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think maybe it's especially with us being Americans that it's it's like part of that is our history because we came here because we wanted to get away from the monarchy.
Yeah. But now we're not like they don't really affect our lives, but we just like to watch them.
Yeah. Well, and their role now these days, I mean, it's really ceremonial for the most part. At least as far as England is concerned, the monarchy is not government. They have government. They have prime minister and parliament and all that. In other countries, the queen, there are commonwealths where the queen is. Well, I think even in a lot of those places, they're democracies, so they have
like
some form
here,
of ruling.
We're part of the British Commonwealth.
To say Mitch probably has a slightly different perspective because she actually lives. Technically, the queen is her queen
in Ottawa, who's like the queen's representative in Canada.
Yeah.
So, and we're part of the British Commonwealth. So, there's all that.
Yeah. So technically, the queen is your queen.
Yes, she is. She is my queen. Technically, there's several layers of government in between, but yes, she is technically my queen.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it's like it's more of a figurehead type situation.
Yeah.
Like we're still governed by like the prime minister and all that, but the queen, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but there is a connection between the Canadian government and the British monarchy.
Yeah.
And like sometimes they there was
occasionally they come visit.
Yeah, they do come visit. Yeah. There was one recently.
Yeah, William and Kate were in.
Where
they were in Western Canada.
They were in Western Canada, far from where I live, but they were in Canada for a visit.
That picture of Kate trying to, because Prince George was being, a 3-year-old, and she had this look on her face, and everyone's like, every mom knows that face. It's like you can be a duchess and everything, but
she's still a mom. Yeah. It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see, if the producers actually do get their 60 episodes, because the Queen has been reigning for slightly over 60 years, so that they're hopefully going to get as close to now, which whatever now will be by the time they actually complete it.
If they do a season a year, that'll be 6 years from now.
Yes, give or take.
Give or take,
yeah.
So,
depending on how often, whether it's exactly one season per year or what.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see, what they decide to do if they do get that far, because, will it be easier for them to do the seasons quicker as time goes on if they recast? Because or would it be, do they plan on keeping their cast and just aging them? I can't imagine that they want to make Matt Smith, 50 years older than he actually is. That they might recast as the family gets older. But maybe their two main ones they'll stick with and just do the aging with makeup thing. Obviously the younger royals right now, Prince Charles and Princess Anne are little kids during this season, so those will have to be recast as Charles and Anne get older.
Yes,
obviously. I'm interested to see, if they keep Matt Smith for 6 seasons and just make Matt look older, which I think they've already done, even just in this first season. If you watch the first episode with their wedding, and the queen is like 25-ish. I'm not quite sure how old Prince Philip was, but by the end of the season, you can kind of see they've started to put a little, some lines in the face where just the stress of,
the
job has already gotten to them, where it's made them age a little, even though it's not even. I think that this season, not counting flashbacks, covers like 4 or 5 years. So that may be the route they go. Maybe I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm definitely learning a lot, though. Even the drama aside, I will say I'm learning a lot of the British history, and especially with the monarchy, because my knowledge really goes to the 80s, if that. Probably not even that. I don't think I really took note until Diana died. So where that kind of brought a lot of attention to the monarchy. Which coincidentally enough, I think some of the people that work on this also worked on the Queen, with Helen Mirren. So that which that covers part of that covers that particular time in the history of the monarchy. So, and if you've seen the King's Speech, that history there also plays into this, because it does give some flashbacks to Elizabeth's uncle's abdication and her father becoming king, and they do incorporate his stutter. He even after the events of the King's Speech, he still struggled somewhat with the stutter, and they incorporate that. So, and learning a lot about the political climate and all that of them. This gets into the mid to late 50s and the very beginnings of what is going to be the Cold War. They kind of leave the end of the season that the Soviets have just tested their first H-bomb. There's that, and the very beginnings of the conflict in Egypt, I think. The Suez Canal, I think. So I'm not too Suez Canal. So I need to brush up on my on my history, I think. So
it's interesting. I don't know, because I'm a history junkie anyway, and so I came this close to minoring in history in college, but I just really enjoy like all the history, and when you have a show that's a thing this well put together. I mean, I don't know. It's like I don't automatically go to watch period pieces, but when it's when it's there and it's something that I find interesting, I will go watch it and just kind of see like what, and you can kind of tell, like if you know history or you have an eye for how these things are done, like you can kind of pick out like what actually happened and what's there for dramatic flair to to tell the story and everything. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
But so far I'm enjoying it, and
it's yeah, I think some of it, you know, if you, even without knowing the history, it's like I said, you know, some of it's obvious stuff where it's like, yes, that actually did happen because, you know, it's in the history books, and then others maybe not so much, but you never know. I mentioned to Chauncey that it doesn't make me have it doesn't make me doesn't give me very very warm fuzzies toward Winston Churchill.
Yeah, some of the
but Chauncey said
toward
actually
the end of Churchill's life, it was like, okay, dude, you kind of need to retire, but
yeah. Chauncey's actually watched, you know, he's read some of Churchill's books and has watched some documentaries and people that knew Churchill and all that. And Chauncey's like, well, yeah, actually, towards the end of Churchill's life, he was kind of a cranky fuddy-duddy. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, what he did in World War II cannot be overstated. Like, he basically... what he did pretty much saved the whole country, but after a while it's like, okay, you're good. You did your thing. You're awesome for that. Go retire. It's okay.
Yeah. And that's the thing is this is Churchill post World War II, where he was no longer prime minister for like 6 years and then got reelected and became prime minister again after this absence. So it's his prime minister take 2, I guess. And again, the second time around, he probably didn't need to run the second time around, and let someone younger probably take that spot. But he's a crotchety old man in this. Like, come on, Winston, just go fishing or something and go calm down, and you'll feel.
But better. No, it's British politics is fascinating.
Yeah,
it's really
well, and I was surprised because even though I'd seen some pictures and I'd seen the trailer, I knew Matt Smith was in it, but I didn't realize they'd cast John Lithgow as Winston Churchill. He's like,
that was a
all
really
British
weird choice.
This is all British cast, and then you have John Lithgow as Winston Churchill, like the American, you know, cast in this particular role, which I think he did a really good job. You know, I think he makes a really good Churchill, but it was a bit jarring. Like, wait a minute, you're not British. What are you doing here? Everyone else is British. It's been cast in this.
I wonder if it's like when they did Doctor Who the movie and it was a part American production, and there's like, well, we need an American actor in there, so we'll get Eric Roberts.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know either. That's just my guess. I could be totally wrong.
Yeah. It's funny though, because it's, you know, you've got Matt Smith, so I'm like, he's not Doctor Who. This is not Doctor Who. This is not Doctor Who. But at the same time, you know, we talk about the fascination with the monarchy, and you know, how they're public figures, and they've been. You know, there's been previous productions about not just these particular members, but other members of the monarchy. You know, there's other dramatic programs with Anne Boleyn and all that, and obviously the Queen with Helen Mirren, and the King's Speech with Colin Firth and all that, and then you've got every now and then, like especially the episode where it's the Queen's coronation, and they one of the things that they focus on is the fact that it was televised, and at least according to this, that was actually Prince Philip's idea. Elizabeth put him in charge of the planning committee for her coronation, and that was one of his ideas, because he wanted the people to feel like they were part of the ceremony, and therefore make it a bit more not so high and mighty, I guess. If the people feel like they're part of it, then it just makes everything happier. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, and then over in one small town, the doctor is, saving people's faces from the wire in the idiot's lantern. It's like, while the Queen's being getting her crown and all that, the doctor is saving, Rose's face.
Yes, it's all over the place, guys.
It's like you start making the references to other things, especially Doctor Who. Doctor Who is made it really easy. It's like to make that leap, I guess. So to try and make those connections, like, it's not real. It didn't actually happen, but it's fun to make. Like, anytime Churchill's on the screen, I'm like, yeah, you're in this position because you tried to use Daleks to stop the war. Funnily enough, with Matt Smith's Doctor.
Yes, it's all over the place, guys.
It's just one of those things. It's the UK. They've got like 12 actors, and one rock quarry, and it's,
they do with what they have.
They do with what they have, but then it's the. It's like my knowledge of British history comes from this and Doctor Who. One is more historically accurate than the other, but one has way more action, so
it's like, which one are we gonna? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Or as someone commented on like YouTube or whatever, it's like The Crown. You remember that time the Doctor married the Queen? This is the documentary. Never mind, it's the wrong Doctor, the wrong Queen. But
they sort of got it right. If you turn your head, squint a little bit, wiggle your nose, like, oh yeah, I think.
That would be interesting when they start getting to the 60s, and because television is playing a more prominent role in it, if they'll show people watching Doctor Who at any point.
I heard
talking about it.
Yeah, I heard tell at one point that the Queen was a big fan of Doctor Who. So I'm just like, I wonder if it'll show up.
I'd like to see that happen now. Oh. And if I have one complaint, the Queen's corgis do not get enough screen time. They only appear a couple of times. Each time I'm like, yay, corgis! But there's not enough corgi in this program. I'm just saying.
Maybe you should what's the word? Send a note to Netflix and say, I'm enjoying The Crown, but I need this. This needs to happen.
Yep, I need more corgis.
What can you do?
More corgi screen time. Apparently, one of the corgis stole the show at the red carpet premiere.
Nice.
At this point in time, the Queen has 3 corgis. I guess one of the corgis that plays one of her corgis was at the red carpet premiere and kind of stole the show. So, which, can I blame
Well, I
them?
mean,
No.
I'm not surprised.
It's a corgi. They're the best dog ever. At least in my book. Although looking at pictures from the red carpet, it's like, if I had been on that red carpet, I so would have been torn, because I would have been like, corgi, Matt Smith, corgi, Matt Smith, corgi, Matt Smith. Like, I can't give attention.
Now you need Matt Smith to pick up one of those corgis.
Exactly. Like, Matt, can you hold this corgi so I can talk to you while petting the corgi and scratching it behind the ears? Or better yet, can I hold the corgi while I'm talking to you, Matt Smith? Because that's the way my attention would have been diverted. I was like, Doctor Who, Matt Smith. Oh wait, there's that corgi. So, first world fandom problems. When your fandoms collide, your favorite dog and someone from Doctor Who.
It's a good problem to have, you know.
Yeah. So, just putting that out there. If someone from The Crown is listening and would like to invite me to the red carpet premiere for the next season, just be forewarned that, the corgi and Matt Smith.
Matt Smith was hoarding a corgi.
Yeah, exactly.
We mentioned that.
Yeah.
We mentioned
I was
Smith holding the corgi.
Or if I'm holding the corgi.
There you go. You hold the corgi. Matt Smith kind of gives you a side hug, and you take a picture.
Yeah, exactly. Selfie with the corgi.
It
needs to happen. Some licks make this happen. I will be there with bells on. So. Just saying.
Indeed.
Anyway.
Oh my gosh, the royal family.
Yes.
We love them.
We do.
We're not sure why, but we love them.
No. It's it'll be interesting. Yeah, that's to say the least, because there's, obviously there are things that happen in the history of the monarchy, plus there are things that happen as far as the history of Britain and the world that will have effects, eventually. There's going to be unrest with, the Middle East and the Cold War, and, several presidencies, lots of presidencies.
Oh, okay.
Like,
so this week,
Eisenhower,
it was like showing the Queen through the ages from was it Eisenhower or Truman?
Eisenhower.
I don't remember. And it's like, and how she met all these presidents, and someone was saying like, "Oh my gosh, I want her kind of longevity," and I'm like, "Me too."
Yeah.
Whatever she's doing, I want to know.
Yeah.
Well, she is currently the longest reigning British monarch in history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
she passed that a little while ago.
Yeah.
Previous record.
Yeah, she hit that earlier this year, but just her sheer age, though. The woman's 90. She turned 90 this year. So, she's still kicking. I mean, she still goes out and does engagements, and she drives, and
she doesn't look 90 though. I mean, I don't know.
She's only a little older than my Oma.
Yeah.
I'm like,
my Oma is 87.
Like she still looks like she could be like 60 or 70.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
I don't know what her secret is, but I would like to know it. Like, what moisturizer do you use? Something in the water over there. I have no idea. Maybe it's all this. Maybe it's the vacationing in Scotland. There's something in the air. I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, but yeah, she's going. So I mean, and she doesn't seem to have any sign of stopping. I would think at this point, like, God forbid you don't want anything to happen to any of them. I know Prince Philip has been in kind of ill health in the last few years. What happened to him that maybe she would finally, decide to step aside, because that's the thing, is she's been reigning for over 60 years. No, she is the longest reigning British monarch in history. So for us and our parents, you really have to go to like our grandparents for them to remember when she was. As far as modern history is concerned, she's always been the queen, but in our lifetime, we're going to see a new monarch. Eventually, Charles is going to become king. And
unless she just stubbornly outlives him, which is what I've heard. I've seen a lot of people just like, no, Charles, you're not getting it. Yeah. I'm gonna outlive you, and then I'll pass it on to William.
Yeah, maybe. So it's like, odds are we're going to see Charles become king. And
yes, I know. I'm making a joke.
And considering, it whenever Charles at this point is in his 60s, I think thereabouts. I'm not sure exactly how old Charles is, so he's going to be up there in age once he becomes king, unlike his mother, who became queen in her 20s. He's going to become king later in life, so we're likely to see William take the throne too. We're probably not going to live long enough to see George become king, but we'll probably see at least the monarchy change hands twice in our lifetime for those of us of this age.
Which would be weird, because we've already had a pope change hands twice.
Yeah.
After was John Paul II, he was quite a while.
Yeah.
And then Pope Benedict retired, which I'm like, I don't know they could do that.
Yeah.
Yep. Really, they can.
Yeah.
I don't pay attention to that.
Yeah. Too busy watching other stuff, I guess. But so
yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, The Crown, it's there. It's in your Netflix feed.
Crown.
If you're a fan of history and your historical type drama type things, your Downton Abbeys and your Jane Austen type dramas, then this is probably the thing for you. From what I've seen of the people I know that have seen it, they really liked it. So there's definitely a crowd for this type of program. I don't think they would
say you say
check it out, if only for Matt Smith.
Yeah, well, that too.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely
it might not end up being my speed. I don't know. I haven't really watched that sort of thing much, but I'll give it an episode or two. See how if once I cleared my schedule enough. Because I have so much other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, watch.
Yeah. Like I said, I didn't mean to necessarily start it, and then when I did start it, I was like, yeah, I'll watch a couple episodes, and that should be sufficient, for us to talk about it on the podcast and all that. And the next thing I know, I've completed the entire thing over the course of the weekend. So it's, for it not being very action heavy, the episodes don't necessarily seem to drag on. So that's the thing. So.
Good to know for when I do get around to checking it out.
Yeah.
And if it's not your speed, then that's fine. I mean, there's people who like period drama. There's people who like action and sci-fi and fantasy and everything in between. So just check it out. If it's not your thing, that's okay. If you do enjoy it, watch the 10 episodes and hooray.
Yep.
Yeah. I just watched this web series that's like a lot. It's web series where they have it like it's a few minutes per episode and like 30 or 60 episodes in a season. I just watched one of those last night. I say I watched one. I mean, I watched the whole season. So.
Yeah. So.
See? There you go.
I mean,
there's a
liking The Crown. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's
Oh,
there, so people can give it a try. So if
You
you're
have
wanting
to-
if you're wanting
it's there
something a
when
little
I'm
different,
ready for it.
yep,
I just need to get
yeah,
ready for it by doing other.
Mhm.
I have other stuff that I wanted
There's always just
before I get around to
always,
that.
yeah.
Mhm.
I have other shows to catch up on.
Don't we all?
There's always other shows.
I know there's
always something. Thanks,
Yeah.
Netflix.
It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you, dear listener, have caught the crown, that sounded funny. like she's throwing the crown out like it's a bouquet at a wedding.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
If you've watched The Crown on Netflix and want to chime in with your opinion about it, or just royal family stuff in general, we'd be happy to hear it, and we may even read it. Well, we probably will read it out on the podcast. You can send us feedback at our email address, which is fiveishfangirls@gmail.com, and five-ish is FIVEISH, just like it sounds, but some people have probably been confused by that. So you can send it to our email account, which is Gmail account. I can talk. And then our website is the fiveishfangirlspodcast.blogspot.com, and that has links to all of our social media goodness. We're on Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and Pinterest and Instagram. We're also on YouTube and iTunes, which is where you possibly found the show. And we can also be heard on Stitcher Radio and on the Google Play Store if you have Android or whatever it is you do. And we also have a Patreon account, and as always, we are very grateful and appreciative of our Patreon supporters. So it always tickles me that I think we have people willing to pay money to us, or to donate money to us to do a podcast about fangirly craziness. And I'm just like, wow, that just gives me the warm fuzzies. And if you would like to donate to us, you most certainly can on our Patreon account. And then also you can buy through our Amazon store. If you buy anything, if you click on our website and click on our Amazon link through there, we get a bit of a portion. We get a bit of Amazon gives us a portion of the money from that. You don't pay anything extra. So if you're doing some shopping for Christmas or whatnot, you can buy through Amazon, buy through our store, and that'll help support us as well. So thank you for your consideration. I think I got everything.
Yeah.
I think you did.
Yep.
We love you, listeners.
We're
glad you're around. We're glad you helped keep us around, and just so much love.
Yes. Lots of love to everyone. So, all right.
Hugs and high fives to all.
Yep. We'll be back next week with hopefully a recap of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. So excited! So,
I slight tangent. We went and saw Doctor Strange again last night in 3D, and all the trailers were in. Well, yeah, most of the trailers were in 3D. That was one of them, and it's just like, this is so cool. I can't. Now I'm like, I think I may want to see it in 3D to start off with. But I don't know. I'm way excited. And they're doing the big Harry Potter marathon in theaters, and I'm really debating with myself if I want to go do it or if I just want to watch the movies from home, because the movies are great, the books are better. And we were at Costco yesterday, and I saw they had Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets illustrated editions, and I was like, ha! Oh, you do?
I love them.
I'm just like, I want this because someday I'm probably going to have kids, and I'm going to want to read to them, and I want to read to them out of this book, I want to read them Harry Potter out of this, because my copies are so old and ratty, and I'm like, I need some new ones. These illustrated ones are so pretty.
Yeah. Yay, more Harry Potter universe stuff. I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I keep going.
They're doing
like,
more
yay,
movies
more.
through.
Yeah, every time I talk to Chauncey, I'm like, yay, more Harry Potter. I'm like, okay, technically, it's not Harry Potter. It's a prequel to Harry Potter, but it's the same universe, so
It's a Harry Potter universe, so
yes.
That's expanding, and we'll take it.
Yes.
Yep.
Harry Potter expanded universe, and the librarians come back next weekend too. So
That's true.
we've got
1 week. I've been
exciting
seeing the ads
things
for
to
that.
considering there's no Agents of Shield right now, and there's no Once Upon a Time next week. So thank goodness we've got Fantastic Beasts and the librarians. Otherwise, we would be in trouble for next week. So
Yeah.
the next few weeks, but. Hopefully those will get us through at least the end of November, and then there's that little Star Wars movie that comes out next month. So,
Yeah, I might go catch that. I don't know.
yeah. Anyway, I think with that, I think we will sign off for this week.
This is Brittany and Belvedere saying goodnight.
This is Chrissy saying goodnight from Salt Lake City.
This is Mitch saying goodnight from Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana, saying cheerio and God save the Queen. You have been listening to the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.